Starting a career in programming. So what we'll just be doing is just to talk a little about programming, software development and software engineering as a whole. Then I'll have my own session. Then with me on the call is Shedrack, that goes by the name Shady Coder. So he'll also like introduce himself and also take some part of the presentation. Then after that, we'll talk about the different career paths, right, in programming or in software development. Then we'll also look at the learning community that we have and how people can join and how people can learn from it. Then we'll have like a 10 minute for just like a Q&A questions. So it's supposed to be a short webinar, a short presentation. So let's see if we can keep to time. All right, so let me start by introducing myself. Yeah, so this is my name, nothing special actually. So, yeah, I'm a software engineer with strong passion for technology, and I've been working actively in the industry for over 5 years. I think my first major software development job was in 2017, started 2017 December, so that's like 5 years plus now, I'll be six. Yeah, so apart from that, I'm passionate about teaching and helping others. Even before I got my first developer job, I was working as an instructor in a in an institute in Ikorodu, So I was just teaching. So I'm just that kind of person that just learn and teach. Even people will normally make fun of me that if you teach Chris something now without even understanding it very well, he's looking for somebody to teach. You understand? So that's just about me. I just love helping. I'm passionate about teaching, helping others, especially complete beginners to become the best developer that they can be. So that's all about me. So Shedrack, please introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah.
My real name is Shidrak, and my cyber name is Shidi Koda. I'm a graduate of political science and education. So the reason why I'm letting you all know because I did in school is because some people are worried if they need to have a degree in computer science for them to be recognized in this tech industry. So that's the reason why I'm letting you know what I studied in school and what I am doing currently. They are two different things, and you don't need to study computer science in school in order for you to get known or get recognition in the tech industry.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Chris.
Yeah, so Shedrack is like an example or a proof that yes, you don't really need a computer science degree. In fact, you don't even need to go to the university for you to become like a software engineer. So even when I was working at Africa Prudential, we have a lot of intelligent programmers. Some of them study zoology. Some of them. So even me that study computer science in school, I couldn't even match up to their skills. So it's not all about what you study in school. So most times it's just about your willingness to learn and your dedication. So then we all know that the tech industry is booming. There is opportunities everywhere. If I should open my LinkedIn now, you will see how recruiters are just reaching out to me. So there are more jobs to be filled than the resource available. So it's clear to everyone that the tech industry is booming with millions of opportunities globally. You can be in Nigeria and be working with companies in US. I have a lot of colleagues that are doing that. Although my own foreign job has not landed, but we're still in the process. So that's just it. And this is why it's very important. And this is like the perfect time for everyone that wants to transition into tech to do so. So the tech industry is very large, it's very broad, and there are lots of opportunities out there. So why people refer to tech as the new oil? This is something that I just wrote. I believe that tech is beyond just the new oil. It's a unique opportunity to position young people to take their own future in their hands. So, to be honest, I know that a lot of things are going on wrongly in this country. The prices of things are as high, lack of jobs. People are doing jobs that they're not happy with, and the rest. But well, I'm in the country actually. I know all these things affect all of us, but when it comes to job and everything, it's like I've already created that opportunity for myself. I don't lack job. If people are complaining, I always have the money to buy something. So the idea behind this is just to like empower young people to take future into their hands, create value, and ultimately create opportunities for themselves. So the opportunities that things, opportunity that oil in its entirety may not be able to do for you. So that just it. Then um, the top hot skills in tech, at the moment, in no particular order, we have the data science. Of course, most of you are aware, what data science is all about. We have the product design. Under product design, we have things like UX, UI, architecture, wireframing, and the rest. Then this one in bold is software development, which is like the topic for today. Then we have the DevOps operation, we have project management, solutions architect, data engineering, machine learning and artificial intelligence, data analyst, and the rest. So each of these, and there are a lot of more. There are a lot of more of this. I just listed some of them. So, and most of these, for example, like data science, software development, DevOps, solutions architect, data engineering, machine learning, all require some form of programming. There are others like data analyst, product design, project management that doesn't require programming. So each of anyone you venture into is very good. There are a lot of opportunities every day in each of this area, both home and abroad. Once you have the right skill, you can easily get job even outside the country. Like in InterSwitch where I work now, we have a lot of openings every day. They will tell you that InterSwitch is always recruiting. They'll keep, even when going to the office, you'll be hearing your team lead saying that they need more resources, and the HR are still looking for people if we can recommend. That means there are a lot of technical problems we want to solve in this country, but we need more people with technical skills. You can be a data science, we need you. The companies, the tech companies need you. You can be a product designer, the companies need you. So that's just it. So for since this is like a session for how you can transition into software development or become a programmer. So let's understand what a programmer is. Who is a programmer? So a programmer, sometimes they can refer to that person like as a computer programmer or just a developer or a coder or software engineer. It's a person who writes computer software. So the term programmer can refer to a specialist in one area of computing program, in computer programming, or to a generalist, somebody that's generalized in different things like writing code or for many kinds of software. So a programmer is somebody that actually programs, that writes code. So programming is the process of creating a set of instructions that tells a computer how to perform a task. So if you see somebody that is a web developer today, you open his editor, write some set of commands, HTML, CSS. That means you are telling the computer how to render, how to display certain items. If you are working on the back end, your logic, maybe you are working on payment gateway, all those logics, is a set of instructions. So you are like the architect, you are like the maker, the creator. You tell the computer what to do by writing some commands and the computer obey. So that's just it. Programming can be done using a variety of computer programming languages. We have Java, JavaScript, Python, C#, C++, PHP, and the rest. So that's it. Then there's always this question about the difference between software developer versus software engineer. Are they the same thing? No, they are not necessarily the same thing. For example, the core difference between the two is that software developers are the creative force that deals with design and program implementation. So for a software developer, you can be a web developer where you develop websites, you develop shopping carts, You can also be like a mobile app developer where you develop mobile apps and the rest. Why software engineers, people that they refer to as software engineers, they use the principle of engineering to build computer programs and applications. Now this kind of, let me give you an example. Now if you go to facebook.com, the guys that build facebook.com, they are software developers, yes, but they are more of software engineers, because now you have to use a lot of principles, a lot of tools like solid principle, design patterns. You have to develop that application so that if 1 million people hit that application at the same time, it can still work effectively. That's why on Facebook you can't see that maybe sometimes if you're having like slow performance, it's probably you can trace it to your network, because the website is well optimized. So those are the works of a software engineers. You learn how to optimize code. There is something called all this big O notation. When you are writing code, you consider the time complexity, you consider the space complexity. So that means your project should be able to process large data, but it should use minimum amount of time. It should consume minimum amount of space. It should be fast. It should be efficient. So to achieve those kind of efficiency, those are the works of software engineers, using different principles, design pattern, how you structure your application. In InterSwitch, you have a lot of products. You have heard of QuickTeller, you have heard all these mobile apps that you are using, that you can transfer money from First Bank to GTB and stuff like that. So they are the work of software engineers. We have a middleware called Kimono. So if you transfer something from First Bank to GTB, then there is some pipelines that the thing need to pass. First, it might hit NIBS. NIBS will call InterSwitch as later on. So that InterSwitch middleware has to be very optimized, because millions of people can be doing transaction at the same time. That's how powerful it is. Like this ATM processing is still powered by InterSwitch, POS, and all those things. They are all products of InterSwitch using that Kimono middleware. So if you go to ATM now, you want to withdraw something, you don't spend long, unless maybe there is an issue with the bank network. But when you initiate a withdrawal, it's calling multiple services. It have to go and check your bank if you have enough balance. It have to call certain services, and the response should not be more than certain seconds. So for it to be that fast, you have to implement some design principles. So that is the work of software engineers. So a software engineer can be a software developer, but not all software developers are software engineers. So I hope that is clear enough. So let's move to the next one. So there are different types of software developers. There are different areas. So because it's always important that before you start your journey in software development or programming, you should have idea of the different areas, the different stacks. So they call them stacks. So the first one we have on the list is front-end developer. So who is a front-end developer? A front-end developer builds the front-end portion of websites or applications. By applications, it can be mobile apps, it can be desktop apps. For example, Shedrack, in where he's working, they are also building desktop apps using electrons and the rest. So yeah, and this is the part that usually interacts with users. That's what users interacts with. So if you go to web page now, for example, you open facebook.com, user only interacts with what they see. They don't care about how the thing is working internally. That's none of their business. They just want to know that, okay, yes, I can click on this button, I'll see my profile, I can click here to upload my pictures. So front-end developer make those functionality happen, although they still communicate with back-end servers. So they use tools like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So these ones, they call them the power triplets. So these are the core technologies for the web, especially the front end. The HTML, the CSS. What you're seeing here, HTML5 is the latest version. The CSS3 is the latest version, and the JavaScript. Then they also use JavaScript frameworks such as React, Angular, Vue, and the rest. In the past, we normally have things like jQuery, IaaS and the rest. IaaS is still in place. jQuery 2 is still in place, but with what React or Angular or Vue can do, we don't really need them again. You understand? So apart from these tools, as a front-end developer, you get to learn a lot. So this is not the section where we discuss every tools like the GitHub, the different kinds of CSS techniques, that you need to understand, or the topics in JavaScript. So this is just to give you an idea. So we might have a separate session for that. So this is it. Then the next one is the back-end developer. So like me, I'm a fully back-end developer now. Although I started as a full stack, but at some point, because I don't really like designing, try to come up with design concept is usually like a struggle for me. So I just focus on back-end. So the back-end developer is responsible for, and it focuses on the inner workings of web applications to build out the server side of web applications. So these are the things that run behind the scene. So if you go to Facebook and you see that section, what's on your mind, and you enter there and you say, thank God it's Friday, and you click on submit button, right? Once you click on that submit button, the front end will send that data to a back end, endpoint, or to a backend server. The backend server will receive it, save it in the database, and send a response back. So the communication that they use now is a backend develop, it makes API available, front end consume those APIs, so they work hand in hand. Before, we used to have like a monolithic pattern where you, in your code base, you have everything in one file. You can have a PHP file where you have your JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and PHP code. But now, the system has so changed in such a way that I can be my backend using Java, right? I don't even need to know what front end is built with. All I just need to do is to expose data, expose some APIs that the front end person can consume. So for example, if you open Facebook web and you open Facebook app on your phone, you are getting the same data. So as a backend developer means the data I'm exposing can be consumed by web developers and can also be consumed by mobile developers, right? So where I was working before, I work with both the web developers and the app developers. So, but just one backend. We create the data, we expose it, front end web developers consume it, app developers also consume it, and we develop both mobile apps and web apps. So that's that. So backend developer uses languages like Java, JavaScript, Python, PHP, C#, Ruby on Rails, and Go, and the rest of them. And we use databases like Postgres, MySQL, MS SQL, MongoDB, and the rest of them, right? So that's it. So this is not a section where we'll go deep into any of them, but the top hot programming languages for backend in the industry at the moment, in no particular order, is Python, Java, Node.js, which is also JavaScript, PHP. Maybe other languages can come before PHP, like the Go language or even C#. But PHP also is a great language used on the server side. So then a full stack developer is someone who works with the back end or the server side of the application. So that's just the work of a full stack developer. So that means a full stack developer understands or knows how to work with back end tools, the server side, and also as well as the front end tools, the client side. So in this diagram here, you can see like a full stack developer, its responsibility. So that means first, it's a front end. It's a front end developer. He knows how to use CSS, JavaScript, and what they call single page application frameworks. So for single page application frameworks, that means the person can either use Angular or React. Then CSS, he knows how to work with what they call LESS and SAS, and can use build tools like GOP. Then the person also understands backend languages. He may know how to use Python or Node.js or PHP or Go. This Django is a framework for Python. Express is a framework for Node.js. Then he knows how to design middleware. Like in InterSwitch now, we have like a lot of caching system, middlewares, that are set up by the backend developers. This is not the session to discuss it. So then he knows how to work with databases, MySQL, SQLite, Postgres, and the rest. Then he knows how to even set up some DevOps related something. Like in Interswitch, we do our own CI/CD ourselves. We write our own build scripts using Docker and the rest. Then some of them, not all of them do, but majority of them also can do mobile app. That means they can develop hybrid apps using what they call React Native. So if you're a front end developer and you know your React very well, you can easily learn how to use the React Native to build mobile apps. If you know how to use Angular very well, you can easily learn Ionic, to build mobile apps with it. So that's that. Then um, I saw some questions and somebody was asking, um, how does one start a career in full stack web development? So you usually start with the area that interests you. So you can decide to so for you to be like a full stack developer, this is the end result. But you can decide to start with either backend. By learning backend, it means you learn this, you learn database, you may even learn some DevOps operation before you come to front end. Or as a front end developer, you can start as a front end developer, know all of these, not all actually. You don't need to learn Angular, React together. You just pick one of them. The most important one is just the HTML, CSS. Then you pick any one of Angular or React. But I know guys that can do a lot of them. So from there, you can just start learning backend. So then I think that is all for my brief introduction. So Shedrack.
Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good
Hope
morning.
everyone can hear me.
Yes, yes,
So
we
I
can hear
know,
you.
I
Yeah, we
know
can hear
people will
you.
be wondering, why is leadership on the presentation? So the reason why I would like to speak about leadership first before I talk about myself is I'd like you guys to have a mind shift so you'll be able to see things with your mind. When you see things with your mind, it's different from seeing things with your eyes because there are things your mind would see that your eyes would not see. So, first of all, what is leadership? A lot of us think leadership is something that only has to do with business people or something that only has to do with politicians. But leadership does not have to do with business or with politics or with a large group. Leadership is something that leadership is an inner thing. So it is just about you finding your inner self and your personal responsibilities and then creating value by who you are becoming. So when learning, one of the problems I've found about people learning how to code or coming into the tech industry, because coding is not the only um, part of the tech industry. I find that a lot of people blame either they don't have a good electricity or they cannot afford data to continue learning, or they are working currently and they don't have the luxury of time that it takes to learn. So what you are saying, what you are essentially saying is you are saying that in order for your life to change, then all these things and the people around you must change, which is impossible because everybody around you and everything around you cannot change. So you have to be the one to look for how you can change yourself in order for you to achieve what you want, since you cannot change everything around you. So that is what leadership really is, you leading your own life and then being accountable to yourself. That is what leadership really is. Um, the next slide. So for this presentation, I'll be talking about myself, how I started, and the challenges I faced, and how I stayed motivated. So, how did I start my journey? Nobody told me about tech. I came into tech out of curiosity. Because when I was in the secondary school, I wanted to learn how to operate the computer, but then I wanted to know more. I don't want to, because what the popular trend in my area then was Microsoft Word, learning how to type and playing what is Microsoft typing games. I wanted to know more. I told myself I would not want to have a laptop, and the only thing I'll be doing will just be typing, because I don't want to, after school, I don't want to open a cyber cafe. So that means if I don't have a cyber cafe, what is the essence of me learning how to type since I will not be typing? So I wanted to do more. I asked myself, what is it that I can do with my computer? That is if I get a computer, because I was like, then I don't have a laptop. Then I decided that okay, let me go into graphics and web design, just to see if it would be something that I would like to do. So that was when I started applying to schools. I applied to a shop that I thought would be doing web design, but what they taught me was just desktop publishing. That means knowing how to type. But I was still grateful for that, even though if that was not what I wanted. Then I went further again. So I went to apply for to computer institutions. I applied for one called Global Tech, which was where I met Mr. Chris. After applying, I learned my graphic design and then I learned web design. Although the web design I learned was not what I was expecting to learn. I was expecting to learn more, but then it opened my eyes to see the possibilities and the other things that I didn't know that I needed to learn before I go to that school. So after I finished from that school, I gained admission into the university. I continued learning how to code during my 100 level. Then my system was giving me issues, and it was difficult combining learning how to code and political science, studying political science. I had to push up my CGPA too, and it was not the same thing. So I cannot be coding and at the same time use coding to write my political science exam. So I had to stop because my system was giving me issues. Then I stopped for a while until I got to 400 level when I started writing my final year project. Then I had a lot of time. Then I bought another system. After buying my system, I went to meet Mr. Chris. Then Mr. Chris had moved away from where he used to stay, which was closer to where I was. I had to, me moving to Mr. Chris's place was like me traveling all the way from Ogun State to Lagos State. I went there, he gave me a learning guide. Now, I will explain what a learning guide is. Learning guide are not the courses you study. Learning guides are just like roadmaps that you use to know what you need to study next after finishing a particular course. What course do you need to take next, like so you don't miss a step or jump a step. So he gave me a learning guide and all the courses that I needed because of the distance. I cannot be going to him every time, spending transport, and I was not working yet. Now, after giving me the learning guide, I learned HTML, learned CSS, learned Bootstrap. Then I was learning JavaScript when I got stuck. After I got stuck, I decided that programming wasn't for me again because it was difficult. I tried building a project with what I've learned in JavaScript. I was not able to do it. Then I called Mr. Chris. We had a Zoom call. Where he was trying to let me fix the bug. But in my mind, I was saying, if I keep having bugs, will I keep calling Mr. Chris? Then the next day, I did not call him again. That was when I just decided that if programming is not for me. Then I stopped learning until that I stopped learning for some months. Then until one day I was on Twitter, I saw somebody communicating with another person, telling the person to apply for an internship. So when I saw the link, I was like, okay, what will I lose if I also apply for this internship? I the The only thing I'll lose is I won't get accepted into the internship. So I think it is worth trying since I'm not losing money, I'm not losing any other thing except being accepted into the internship. So I applied for the internship.
Hello, Shadrach. Are you still talking?
I can't hear him as well.
Like we lost him.
Let me see if he's still on the call. Maybe it's network or something.
Yeah.
I don't think. Okay. So let me just. Hello, Shadrach. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
I guess his network is down.
Okay. So maybe before he join back, though. So let's see. Do I really know this is story? Yeah, but I know that he joined an internship with a company called Hotel.ng. I know most of you are familiar with Hotel.ng. So I think it was that internship that really helped him in a way, So not long, we now discover like the right material. So his problem, what was giving him issue with JavaScript was the fact that he was not getting the right materials to learn. There are a lot of tutorials you'll be taking, and those guys just assume that you know. So to just be moving at the speed of light and the rest. So until we managed to get, even me too, that I was trying to explain, it was not really like getting it. I'll be explaining, do you understand? He will say yes. But it was later that he told me that all those times that I was asking him if he understood anything, that he didn't understood Jack. You understand? But he didn't tell me. So, but until we now found a particular JavaScript tutorial by Jonas. If you go to udemy.com, and you search for Jonas, so it's that guy's material that really unlock everything. The guy's tutorial is so structured in such a way that even if you are the most dumbest person in the world, you understand his topic. So from then, we even discover some of his courses, like the HTML. This course is solid. It's a bestseller course. Then this is the JavaScript course. It's a bestseller course. Then he has some advanced course. Then I remember in 2019, I took his Node.js course. This one is not a bestseller though, but it's a very powerful course. So this is the JavaScript that just unlock his brain to start understanding JavaScript. So from there, he started doing a lot of tasks, activities, have people to collaborate with. He now discovered that he even knows more than a lot of people on that platform. Shadrach, if you are back, just indicate. Okay. So let me just continue. So yeah, so that's how he learned JavaScript. Then the next thing after JavaScript was to learn React. So he came to my house. He stayed with me for like, I think, over 2 months, because where he was staying, light was a challenge. I just told him that, see, in my house, so I have light. Then our light is like one of the best. My internet is unlimited. So you won't see that you don't have light to work. You won't see that you don't have internet. Just come. If it is food, even though we don't know how to cook, we go share miss food. Salt can appear one side, maggi on the other side. We go share eat, but keep learning. So his consistency was just what really, he was so consistent, because I watched how he was learning. Sometimes if I open my eye around 2 a.m., you will see him sitting down learning React. So I think he learned React for the space of just 2 months. Then we managed, because even me too, I was trying to change my level, my career level at that point. So I reached out to a guy on LinkedIn. The guy was in UK then. I think he's still in UK. His name is David Roberts. So the guy just had a session, one-on-one session with me. After that, he had a one-on-one session with Shadrach. He just told us what to do to start, even though you are learning as a beginner, make noise about what you are learning. Let people know that, okay, yes, you just started learning programming and you are updating us. You are learning, you are telling us what you are learning. There are a lot of people, even if you don't know, people are watching how consistent you are on that platform. So he kept doing that. If you learn something real today, he will write it on LinkedIn. He kept doing that. Then opportunity came with my former company. So we hooked him up. He went to do interview, but his knowledge was not strong enough to pass that interview. So they gave him some tips, to work on. He went back and learned them. Then around December, one of the HR of that my former company also now contacted him because she kept following his post on LinkedIn. She just knew that, okay, this guy is ready. So she just chatted him for another opportunity, which it was in January this year. So he went and was able to perform excellently, and that's how he got his first job as a front-end developer. Now, something about being consistent again is the fact that he was updating people of his performance, writing about React, writing about JavaScript. A lot of recruiters started reaching out to him, say that they want his services. Then, of recent, a company from US contacted him that they want him to be writing documentations. Imagine you what you are doing for fun, just writing about your journey, your development journey. A company is contacting you to come and be writing it for them, while they will be paying you in dollars.
Wow.
You understand? So that's what he's currently processing now. And if this thing should work, his salary in a week from that US will be more than what he's earning in a month in this his company. So that means in 2 weeks, he can earn times three of his monthly salary. You understand? So that's just it. So the journey here is just to inspire everybody. It's not usually
I'm
easy.
back, sir.
Okay, so Shadrach, please. I don't try share your stories more. So
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. So since we don't have enough time, I don't think I'll be able to share this story as I planned to. So
Okay,
I'll
just
just brush over these
mm,
questions on the
yeah, just go to how you get your motivation. Yeah, this third one. Hello,
like
okay.
they just found a way to manage these challenges. So the first challenge I had during my own journey was quitting because JavaScript was giving me issues. I was not understanding JavaScript. And how did I get back? I explained how I got into an internship. Then during my internship, I only knew HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. But then the people that I was looking up to, that I was looking forward to, that if they give me a task that I cannot do, I will go to their DM and tell them, please come and help me out with this task. They were also looking up to me, and I did not know. I wrote a CSS code that they had to Google to translate the CSS code that I wrote. Meanwhile, in my own mind, I was looking up to them. So after we completed one of the tasks they gave us for that week, and we started chatting, that was when somebody now brought it up, that guy that I did not even know that variables were possible in CSS. I had to go and Google it to understand your code. I was like, okay, so that means what I know now, that you remember I had given up, I had stopped learning, but yet I still knew more than people that were still learning. So I was like, Shedrack, this is not time for you to give up. You have to continue. So I got my motivation back just because I figured that the people I was looking up to were also looking up to me, and there were things that I know that they don't know. Though there were things they know too, that like JavaScript that I was having issues with. They were good with JavaScript, but yet they were still looking up to me in CSS. So I was like, okay, if these people don't know CSS and I know CSS, they know JavaScript and I don't know JavaScript, that means I can get to where they are. I can. So I took another JavaScript course entirely. I met a friend in the internship. Now, this is another reason why internships are good. They might not pay you, but they count as a working experience that you can add or include to your CV, plus the networks you also get from there. So this person I met during the internship, gave me. Remember, I was broke and poor, so I've never even bought a course in my life on Udemy except from the ones Mr. Chris gave me. So I met her. She gave me a Udemy password and username. So I learnt JavaScript from a Udemy account. After learning JavaScript, now there are two things I learned while learning JavaScript. The first time I was learning JavaScript before I gave up, I I was obsessed with wanting to know JavaScript. So I gave myself a deadline that was not realistic. What do I mean by a deadline that was not realistic? I gave myself a deadline that I could not meet up with. Now, this was why I could not meet up with my deadline. I calculated how many hours I studied in a day, then multiplied it by the number of videos I was watching. And that was how I concluded that by this so time, I should be done with JavaScript, the course. And when I'm done with the course, then I should have knowledge of JavaScript and should be able to build things. But one thing I failed to consider is what if for one day I don't have money to buy data, or for 2 days NEPA did not bring lights? That means I will not be able to catch up on my deadline again. And when you're unable to meet those deadlines, it does something to your mind. What it does is it demotivates you, but you won't know. The more you set deadlines and you don't meet them, the more you get demotivated until you finally give up. So that is why it is always advisable to set realistic deadlines. Now, what do I mean by realistic deadlines? Usually, let me use myself as an example. So after I learned this, my second JavaScript course that I was taking from the Udemy account I got from a friend. After I learned that, okay, I did not give myself enough time to learn this. I decided not to give myself any deadline again, which was another mistake that I made. So I decided that I will take as much time as I need to learn JavaScript. So for 4 months, I could not build anything with JavaScript. But if you ask me questions, the things I will explain to you perfectly, but I could not build anything until a friend invited me for an interview. But then remember I said I did not give myself any time, which was a disadvantage for me. So a friend invited me for an interview. How did I meet this friend? Through the internship too. During the internship, I usually post, like, we have a WhatsApp group, myself and my team, where whenever I'm given a task, after I'm done with the task, I go to that WhatsApp group, I post the link, and then I tell people to review it for me before I submit the task. So if there's any mistake, I'll work on it before submitting the task to my supervisor. So I never knew that way. I was getting noticed, and then people were saying that this guy is good, this guy is good. So after the internship, a friend in the internship linked me to his colleague at work that was working a full-time job and at the same time was doing a freelance job. So he needed more hands to complete the freelance job he was doing, and I was contracted. Now I've mentioned two things I got from my internship. One, getting a Udemy course. Now, getting a gig through a friend I met in the internship. Now, it's not just by meeting people, it's by you showing them what you can do so they can have the confidence to link you up with jobs or to recommend you to jobs, because they would not want to recommend somebody that would bring down their reputation. So, they don't want to spoil their reputation. So now, how was I able to manage the issue of deadline when learning? So when I discovered that I need to give myself a deadline, but how do I give myself a deadline that would not end up being at my own disadvantage? So I decided that I'll be I'll dedicate 3 months for a course. So for that 3 months, within that 3 months, even if I don't have money to buy data to continue, I know at the end of the 3 months, I'll still be able to complete the course. Or if peradventure for 2 or in a week NEPA did not bring light, I'll still be able to complete the course. And then when you complete or when you achieve a goal that you set, it does something to your mind again. It makes you want to do more. So that is why it is important to set realistic goals. So now I've explained how I got demotivated and how I was able to restore my motivation. So how would you know if you are job ready? How did I know that I was job ready? One thing I would like to let you know is don't wait until you are job ready before you start applying for jobs. My first job interview I went for, I was writing my final year project when I got a call from the guy I did a freelance job for through my internship. He told me there was an opening in his company. So because he saw how good I was in the job I did for him, so that was why he was able to recommend me to his company. Though I was still learning Java. In fact, if I could not even build anything on JavaScript yet. But I went for the interview. He told me it was a React position. I asked myself another question, Shedra. You know you don't know this thing, but what will you lose if you go for the interview? I was like, okay. The only thing I will lose is my transport fare because I was schooling at Ijebu Ode and the company was at Lekki in Lagos. So I was like, the only thing I will lose is my transport fare. But then I'll be gaining something. I'll be gaining the interview experience. What kind of questions will I be asked? So I did not go for that interview with the mindset that I want to get the job. I went for that interview with the mindset that I just want to learn how an interview is being conducted and what mistakes I'll make, how far I've come with my learning. So I went for the interview and I fucked up. After fucking up the interview, I came back. Then I was pissed off because the feedback I got was not a constructive feedback. And then it made me question the people that were telling me, Shedrack, you are good. You are good. So I just went on Twitter and then I said, please, nobody should ever tell me that I'm weak. I don't want to hear that. Just tell me that if whenever I post my work and you see my work, criticize it. Like that critique I got that day motivated. Like from the interview, I went back home. I went to open my laptop and I went to continue the JavaScript course. That was when it occurred to me that yeah, set a deadline. Give yourself a deadline to meet that before this time. Make sure you are done with this course and then move on to the next course. So after completing my JavaScript course, I think I was at Mr. Chris' place when I completed my JavaScript course.
Yeah.
I picked up React the next day, immediately after completing my JavaScript course. So now I would not advise you people to do this because the way I learn is different from the way you learn. Me, I learn by building projects in between a course. Like when I take the first half of a course, then I give myself not all courses come with projects that you build while learning the course. But me, I give myself a personal project, then I will build it. Then when I'm done with the course, I'll give myself another project and build again. But because there was a deadline, I could not build the project that I used to build after completing the course. I only built the project after the first half. Then immediately after my JavaScript course, I took a React course. As usual, after the first half of the course, I built a music player application. Then I was having issues. I thought I understood React. I was having issues again, but then I just decided that that course I was taking was not the course for me. The course was just the course will teach you how to build things fast, but it
I
will not
can't
really
understand it.
explain the in-depth how those codes are working behind the scene and how those codes are working. The explanation behind how those codes are working behind the scene is what you need to pass technical interviews. So if I can build and I cannot explain, how will I get a job? And I just decided that course is not for me. I need a job that will teach me how the code is working behind the scene. So when I go for interviews, I'm being asked questions, I can explain what those things are and how they are working behind the hood of that particular code. I took another course again. Mr. Chris gave me his Udemy account. So I took a course. The reason why I took his Udemy account was I don't want to buy a course because having gone through a lot of courses and being disappointed in some and then appreciating some, I did not want to buy a course that will end up being disappointed in. So I took his Udemy account. I I took two different React courses. Then I compared both of them together to see which one was better for me. And after deciding, I paid with my own Udemy account for the one that I wanted. After paying, then I continued learning with my Udemy account. After I learned, we got my Mr. Chris introduced me to one of his friend again, where we were building a project for him, and then I decided that I was going to use React for the though I had completed the whole project using just HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But then we just decided that we should use React. So I had to rebuild using React. Then I was able to so there was no need for me to build any project in the middle of my course again, since I was already working on a real life application that I can even add to my portfolio and to my CV. So that was the project I was working on until I got interviewed again at Mr. Chris' company. Then before I got my current job. So how was I able to manage the issue of years of experience before getting my first job? Now, this part, managing the issues of your years of experience is for those of you that have gone through internships, that is a good thing for you because when I went for my own internship, I never knew it was going to count as a work experience for me because I just went that let me just go because I don't have anything to lose. But now that you guys are getting this information, internships count as your years of work experience, even if it is just 3 months internship. You can apply now. There are different types of internships. There are some boot camps that they call themselves internships. What is the difference between a boot camp and an internship? Internship are places where you go to, they give you tasks. It's just like you are working. They give you tasks. You work on real life projects. Boot camps are places where you go and they train you, they teach you like a school, they teach you what is HTML, they teach you how to code. So there are two different things. Boot camp don't count as work experience, but internships count as work experience. So those are the two differences between boot camps and internship. So because I had one internship under my belt, I was able to add it to my CV. And for those of you that haven't done any internship yet, on your CV you can add the projects that you've worked on. Like I don't mean the projects you did for people, your own personal projects. And what kind of projects can you add on your CV if you don't have work experience? You cannot build a calculator.
Hello, Shadrach. Hello, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me?
If you're a front
Yes.
end
Yeah.
developer,
Okay. Yes.
Okay, Shadrach,
if you're
continue.
a, if you're a front end developer, can
Sorry,
you work?
Darren, should you go back, please? We lost him.
We lost you for a
Sorry.
moment. Yeah. We were talking about calculator. I think I heard calculator last.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I said that if you don't have years of work experience, you can add the projects that your belt to instead of work experience, you just add my project, then the title of your project, the description of your project, and the
Yeah.
link to your project so recruiters can go and view them and the GitHub link too so they can check your code.
Yeah.
So now for the projects, you don't want to put project like calculator in your CV. The reason is because recruiters don't want to see calculators. Like calculators are not what they are building for users. Build a project that what they want to see in your project is, as a front-end developer, can you communicate with an API? Can you perform CRUD operations? Calculate, yeah, okay, calculator performs some level of CRUD operation, but it doesn't communicate with an API. Okay, apart from communicating with an API, as a front-end developer, how good are your design skills? Can you build beautiful interfaces? So what are the examples of projects you can build? You can build projects for imaginary
Oh, I can't hear you.
Please, can't hear anyone.
Yeah, Shadrach, I think it's network.
Imaginary is on imaginary something.
We'll remember.
Yes, yes, yes.
a bank account. So, and
Please, I have to start from imaginary.
We're here, imaginary.
my God, okay. And so I said,
Wait, I think you should have provided this guy your uninterrupted internet.
No, it's not with me. Assuming it's with me, my internet is. I'm using SpectraNet, which is very good in this area.
It does not matter now. You should have given him spectranet for the time being.
Shadrach, for come my
Okay.
house, so to continue.
All right. So I thought that's imaginary, right? So you can
You can build
provide, you can
imaginary.
build projects for imaginary clients. And how do you decide? How do you get ideas to build as a project for an imaginary client? There are problems you're currently facing. Though it might be difficult to notice these problems on time, because as at when I knew that, okay, guy, I don't want to build, I don't want to have calculators, I don't want to have to do applications on my portfolio. I want to have real life projects. But then there's an advantage of having a calculator and a to do app on your, no, of building them but not having them on your portfolio. I will explain the advantages in a bit. So, how do you get these ideas? Most of you have bank accounts, and most of you are currently operating on the web version of your bank account, and you are currently doing online banking with your bank's website. So, and I want to believe that there are things that you've seen on your bank's website that you wish that, or there are features that you wish could have been added to your bank's website that are not there. You can build your own imaginary bank, your own imaginary bank website. You don't necessarily have to give it the name of a real bank. Just give it maybe iBank or any name, but just make sure that it describes that it has to do with finance and banking. Then add the features. Give a front end designer or a front end developer, create a front end design for an imaginary bank. Give it the features that you wish that your website had, or give it, or let me put it this way, give it the features that you wish your website had, and then you can also add the features they have. And there are some features they have that you believe could have been made better on your own imaginary project. Make it better. That is what recruit. In fact, the project itself is not what blows recruiters' mind. The story behind the project is what blows their mind. Imagine going for an interview and then they ask you that, do you have, what project have you done? Then you told them you built a bank web application, and then you now started telling them the story behind why how you got the idea and the features you added, the reason why you added those features. Now they'll be intrigued because now they are seeing that, okay, this person does not only know how to code, he knows how to think. That is what recruiters want to see in your project. And during the interview process, they don't just want to say, okay, can you code? Okay, yes, you can code. But can you think? They want people that can think, that when they are stuck. In fact, my boss told me that, guys, The reason why I hired you is for you to think for me. I cannot be stuck and have you guys and still be stuck. Or yeah, come up with ideas. I need ideas. So those are what recruiters want to see. And in showing them such projects and then telling them the story behind such project, you're already telling them that, guy, you have the capacity to think and to solve a problem. I just use bank as an example. Banks are not the only applications you have that you are facing issues with. Currently, I've been looking for mobile applications that I can use to do my monthly budgets because I don't like using the Excel or Google Sheets. It just looks somehow and scanty and it's not.
Like that computer.
So I decided that after learning how to build mobile application, I was going to build. You don't need to build for people. When you don't have a job, you don't need to build for people. What problem you as a person are you facing currently? Build a solution to solve your own problem and add it to your portfolio. That is how you build your portfolio with projects that recruiters can see because those projects on your portfolio now they now have a story behind them. You were facing a difficult time and you needed a solution during that difficult time. For instance, another example is um, recently Mr. Chris introduced me um, to crypto trading and to a company that uses they have a bot that does your trading for you. So you don't need to learn how to trade. The bot automatically is an AI that does all your trading for you. But it's too expensive for me. How can I be able to me that I'm looking for money? I don't have money. You're telling me to come and use the small money that I have to come and subscribe to a bot. Like me now, I can decide that, guy, let me go and learn blockchain development and build my own bots. That is just to solve my own personal problem because I could not afford. Now, let me tell you guys a brief history about how Linux came into being existence. For those of you that know what Linux is,
Or Linux.
or Linux, or
Linux.
Linux, that's
Linux.
different
Different pronunciation,
pronunciations.
yeah.
So, some people, for those of you that don't know what Linux means, Linux is an operating system. What are operating systems? Operating systems, examples of operating systems are your Windows, for those of us that are using Windows, and for those of you that are using a MacBook, Mac OS. So Linux is also an operating system. How did Linux come into existence? The the builder of Linux was a programmer, and at the time when he built Linux, he wanted a MacBook. But MacBook is we all know Apple products are very expensive. He could not afford an Apple laptop. So he decided to build an operating system that is similar to that of Mac OS. That was a Linux. He built it for just to solve his own personal problem. But he never knew that Linux was going to become something popular. And today now Linux is very popular. In fact, if you are doing DevOps, you have to learn how to use Linux.
Yeah.
That is how popular Linux is. But my point is, you don't need to think to solve people's problem. What problem are you currently facing? Use that you solve your own problem, add it to your portfolio. At least now your goal is not to become an entrepreneur. Your goal is to build projects that will get you interviews and that you can talk about during interviews. I think I've answered the question of experience. So another thing I would like to add is um, talking about the things you do on your social media. And remember, I said I got my first freelance gig after my internship just because I was posting my work on a WhatsApp group and then asking for reviews and then telling people to condemn it and then tell me places where I can improve on it. I never knew they were seeing me as being good, that made me feel big and then I decided not to learn as much as I used to learn again until I got my first interview. That then I decided that nobody should tell me that I'm good again, just criticize me so I'll stay motivated. But for some people, critics don't make them motivated. It does something else to them. So you just have to figure out who you are and what works for you. For me, if you criticize my work, you're motivating me directly, but you don't know. You think you are doing. You think you are doing me. Yeah, you think you're doing me bad, but you don't know you're actually doing me a favor because the ginger will go and use. Let me share this with you. So after my first interview, after I got the first critique of my life that made me decided that nobody should that
Tell
nobody
you
should
that you
applaud me
Yeah.
anymore. So I decided that I decided that this was why I decided in my mind immediately. I decided that this JavaScript, I was going to learn it, become very good, learn React, become very good with it, apply for that same position in that same company, and make sure that I get the job. And then when I get the job offer, I will not refuse it. I will not reject it. That was my goal. That was my goal. But in a way, it did something good to me because it motivated me to learn, like to learn more and then want to become good. But after passing the learning process, I decided that guy, you don't have sense. Why would you work that hard and then at the end of the day just to revenge? So I just decided not to do it anymore. But I thank God I now have a job. But for most people, they don't see critique as a good thing. They see it as something bad. So if you can learn to see critique as a good thing and then take advantage of it, it is good. It is very good. So another thing I would like to talk about is Mr. Chris gave me a learning guide and all the courses I needed. Because I have all the courses I needed, I did not. You have to learn how to discipline yourself, even when everything you have, even when you have all access to everything, to all the availabilities you need. You should learn to discipline yourself to only take those things that you need at that particular time. Even if you can take everything, even if you don't need them at that particular time. It is a good skill. He gave me all the courses that I needed, plus a learning guide on what to learn first and then what to learn next. Because he gave me all the courses, I did not decide that, okay, after learning HTML, let me jump to JavaScript. In fact, he even gave me a Node.js course, and currently I've not even started learning Node.js. Or should I say I'm learning Node.js, but I'm still struggling between learning and then finishing up my office tasks. So let me just say I'm not learning Node.js. So you need to learn because on the WhatsApp, this community we are trying to create will be giving you guys access to a lot of courses. So you need to learn how to discipline yourself to only study the things you need and not like you have to have the ability to filter out distractions. And in this sense, the other courses you don't need are distractions. But some people, because they have access to it, would say, okay, they want to learn this. Now, this is what you are doing to yourself. For instance, you want to become a front-end developer, but in the community where you are, because they are so good, you have access to courses for both front-end development and back-end development and machine learning. You started HTML, then you started HTML and CSS you learned HTML and CSS for a month. Because you have access to machine learning courses, you stopped after that 1 month. You moved to machine learning. You learned machine learning for another 1 month. Do you know that for those 2 months that you moved from HTML to machine learning, if you dedicated just those 2 months on front end development, you would have finished HTML and JavaScript. So you doing this, you are prolonging the time you need to be job ready. That's what you are just doing.
Yeah.
That's what you are doing to yourself by doing it. So you
Yeah.
just need to stay. If you give yourself time, then you know that guy. I don't have enough time. I don't have the luxury of time. This is where giving yourself realistic deadlines again is an advantage. When if you give yourself 3 months to complete a course, and then you are seeing another course that is calling your name, that you are eyeing that come and learn me, come and learn me. But you like I have 3 months to learn this course. If I add this one to it, will I be able to complete both courses in 3 months? I don't think I must stay. Just the let me finish with this one. When I'm done, I'll come and learn you. So
Yeah.
that is another advantage of giving yourself deadlines.
Yeah.
So
That's true,
that's
sure.
all I
Yeah.
have to
So
say.
because of time, yeah, you said a lot of things. Sha. I hope you guys, you know, gain some values from his talk. So yeah, there are a lot of things to say in this regard, but because of time, even how I started, how I motivate myself, most times you don't that motivation, it might not really be there. Oh. You just wake up one morning and code. Even up till now, most times I just wake up, even as much as I'm working for a big company, still doing my other side jobs here and there. The money is coming in, but I don't really have those motivations to wake up every morning and look forward to working. No, but when you are learning, discipline is very important because discipline is what will drive your learning where motivations fails. So you must discipline. In my own time, right? I have like a plan that I stick to. I make sure that every day I'm going to commit 5 hours to learning, whether I feel like it or not, whether I'm motivated or not. I might not do it at a stretch. I can just do maybe the first 1 hour, go and watch television, come back, do another 1 hour, but I'll make sure that I complete that 5 hours every day. Then I saw a question. Somebody asked, can you be working and still be learning coding? Yeah, it's possible. I saw a post by somebody on LinkedIn. She said, if you can wake up 5 a.m., especially those of you that are in Lagos, going to work to build another man's dream. No, she said if you can wake up 6 a.m., and hit the road to go and build another man's dream, means you can wake up 5 a.m., use the first 1 hour for yourself. The point is, in as much as you are working 8 to 5, till night, just have like a plan. It's consistency that matter. You just have to discipline yourself, even if it is 1 hour per day. Have a plan, stick to it. Just be consistent, be committed. Before you will be ready. And that job that is taking your time, that is not paying you well, you can easily switch. My flatmate here, he told me of one of his colleague that the guy was just like a graphic designer in his company, but probably underpaid. While company is giving him tasks to do, behind the scene, he's learning his coding gradually. When the opportunity came, he got his coding job. He resigned. Even if it is 30 minutes every day, be committed to it. So there's a lot to say in this area, but because of time, so what I'm going to do next is to just spend 2 minutes explaining this. Then we'll go to Q&A. So this is our training model and part. This is how we can support your learning. So we have like a WhatsApp group where we have like few numbers there. So we can join you. You can add it to the WhatsApp group. Maybe Shadrach, if you can paste the group link in the chat, let people do that. Those that want to join can join. So the model we use 80% self-learning, because the best way you can become a better engineer is to do most of the work yourself. While you are trying, you will get stuck, of course. That's why we have people on the group. We have mentors. Like me, anything backend related, like Java, Spring Boot, PHP, Laravel, you can reach out to me anytime. I think I replied to chats on the group than I reply to, direct DMs. If it is front end, anything that has to do with front end stack, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Shadrach is there. Node.js too. You can handle that. Python, we don't really have support for Python yet, but I think if you follow this self-learning approach, you can easily pick it up and learn. Definitely when you start learning, you start discovering communities, coding communities, for Python developers. I've done Python before, but I can't really remember most of the things. But I just know that you will not be alone when you are learning. So we have access to curriculum. I think so far we have the one for Java complete, like a learning guide for 6 months, how you approach it from the very first week to the 24th week. Then we have learning resources, like most of these Udemy, videos, we have them. So what I'll be doing, at the course of, as we progress, is maybe encouraging you guys also to buy so that you have the course on your own profile and have certificate that when you are sharing about your journey, you can be posting it on LinkedIn. But if you can't afford it, it's still fine. We can give you links to download, we can give you account to stream it from, but I also want to encourage that you invest in your own training. Shedrack did something that touched my heart that last year, December last year, where people are looking for money here and there. He said I should help him buy a course that is going to send money to me, that I want to buy Node.js course. So meanwhile, I've had it in mind that, okay, that December I'm going to gift him 5K because he was not working then. He needs money. You understand? So I said, okay, since he said he wants a course, why not use that 5K and buy that Node.js course for him? Meanwhile, my account was still active. He can easily learn that Node.js on my account, but he just wanted that Node.js on his own account so that maybe after learning, he can have certificate and publish it on LinkedIn or something. Or maybe, because I was using company account, tomorrow I can resign from the company, which I did later on, and they'll block that account. So you just want to have ownership of that course, And I asked him a very simple question, that this December, that people are looking for money to spend. Why is it that you are using this 5K that is supposed to use whole body, you're using it to buy course? He said, very soon is this thing that is learning that will start bringing money. And it's true. So he invested in himself, and that's just it. So I will encourage people that if you can have money, I know most of you have Netflix account, which is good. You subscribe, which is good. But we can set aside money. I think I bought my first course when I was not even working at all. My dad normally gives me pocket money, like 500 every day. So from that 500, I'll be saving. I have to wake up midnight to do midnight subscription. I have 4 SIMs, 2 MTN, 2 Airtel, that I can do midnight in 25 naira for 500 MB. At the end, I have 2 gig. Immediately I finish MTN, I remove, put MTN 2. Finish, remove, put Airtel 1. Finish, remove, put Airtel 2. It's hustle. It's hustle now. Now hustle. So that's how I can be able to download, watch YouTube. Most of my training, most of my downloads are usually in the midnight because that's when I have data. Then at some point for that 500, I was still saving because in 2017 for 11 months, I was without job because I attended Andela bootcamp and I failed in the process. So, but the bootcamp opened my eyes,
I remember.
The thing is, I got to the last stage, right? Even my presentation was awesome. I worked on a Node.js application, When I was talking, even the white guys and everybody were just clapping. But at the end, they rejected me because they said it's not all about coding. My coding was perfect, but I was not a team player. I don't communicate. Even a girl that was teaching coding in that bootcamp, they picked that lady over me. I was not asking questions. They say, actually, they're trying to favor women in tech. We have less women, so they have to consider all the women before they pick the best guys. I said, even the best guy, my presentation was better than so and so. They say yes, but they were team player. They fit into our culture. We collaborate. We discuss. But you are always quiet, and that is true. You understand? So for 11 months, I was without job completely. So I was just learning. Any little money I have is just 11 months from January till December 2017. It was tough.
How did you go?
It wasn't easy, but thank God my father was in active service then, so we were both in Ikorodu. At least I still food chop. I'm not paying house rent. I'm not paying money for light and stuff like that. It wasn't easy, Sha. But at the end,
And then there was no girlfriend.
no girlfriend. I was still single. So I beg, if anybody get girlfriend, may give me a new girlfriend. so that just it, Sha. So it's just the consistency, and So find a way to invest in yourself. So this is our training model. I think time has gone. So raise up your hand for question. I think there's a button to raise up hand. So Shadrach will be calling names and unmute. All right, let's do this. Okay, let's go first. Okay.
I want to talk.
Oh yeah, go ahead, please. Abiodun.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. I bullied my way through. Okay, my name is Abiodun Omonijo. My tech journey has been somehow this, that. Yeah, I started off in tech 2020 to be a UI UX designer.
Yeah.
That's what product design is what I wanted to do. And I've been doing it. In fact, I met Shady as we were both teaching at a particular boot camp. He was teaching front end, I was teaching UI UX.
Yeah.
But when I started looking for jobs as a product designer, UI UX, I discovered that a lot of companies wanted designers that can do one or two things in addition. So I decided to pick up front-end development, and that's how my front-end development started. Yes, coding, Shade was one of the first people that taught me coding. Like, I've been learning, okay, this is where I'm going now. I've been learning from different scattered learning, yeah, from different places, different people. And currently, I am in old school because yeah, the thing that's been giving me major headache is JavaScript.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been learning from different things like that. And I must mention something. What Mr. Chris did was Shadrach. Things I have specifically reached out to people that, please, can I relocate to your house? Can I be working with you? I can find a waiting phones. I know that I've been knocking on several doors of different people in the community, but it's not been forthcoming. But I feel and think that if I have somebody very close to be working, not even learning, I want to break out of this learning loop. Yeah, I can't keep learning forever. So what I need is someone to be working with, even if it is just to be doing their HTML and CSS on project, and in the over time continue to improve on my Java. Of course, I have not started any frameworks at all. The Angular, I'm just on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So the opportunities I've been looking for throughout is just a place where I can just start working with someone or a group of, in fact, someone be passing me your okay, you have a project, say, oh yeah, guy, do this, I do it, check it, put me through. That's what I think what I've been looking for. So all school is a 9 month journey. I don't want to be learning on multiple spaces at the same time for now. Yeah? Which I've been doing, and it's not been of so much benefit for me. So I have joined the community. I will stay. I will join the WhatsApp group and continue to keep a track of events. But I will appreciate that after I am done, or when I'm ready, if the community can make such opportunities available, you don't have to pay. I think just start doing this thing. Okay, be working with this, but not a school or learning or boot camp, something now, but active work with that person, so that I think that is the way one can also develop further in this journey. We need opportunities to be able to work. We beginners like this need to be able to work. work.
Okay. Yeah. So
Because
by
these
work,
days
sorry,
now,
by work you mean
yes,
projects that will just increase your learning capacity.
yes,
Okay.
exactly, yes. Rather than just having to keep taking courses over
Yeah.
and over and over, and one is not because yeah, I'm finding it difficult to just start personal project like that.
Okay.
Maybe because of my isolation. My isolation is a major problem I have in my journey. So I need more.
Mr. Chris,
Yeah.
Mr. Chris.
Yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah, this is a Okolo fine. Now,
Okay.
actually, I started this journey with Shedrack, and I'm highly impressed.
Yeah.
Then I'm like him, just what the last speaker said, Abiodun. I
Hmm.
think I am in the same shoe with this guy. That isolation and having too many materials online. At the end of the day, you won't even know what to do again.
Hmm.
And that's a major problem JavaScript. Fine, might be very good in mathematics, but different concepts, it will just shatter your learning ability. Think I've gotten to a stage that this learning issue, without even trying to create a project, has been a major cause. And thanks to Shedrack, as in the guy really brought out one aggressive beast in me. And I'm so happy that this few 1 hour, I think I've actually learned a great deal. But the major thing there is that having this mentor, somebody that will always like hold you whenever there's any issue. I had this opportunity, because I'm always seeing you, but I never had the opportunity, and I really want to correct things in a very good way now. But
Okay.
thanks for the presentation. I'm just so happy.
All right, no problem. So like what Abiodun requested for is something that we can do. So once you join the group, right, we have people that are learning backend, we have people that are learning front end. So what we can do is that group will just be challenging ourselves to come up with topics, to come up with projects, something that looks like a real life project, and we work on it together. So I'm trying to spin up my postman. So there's one project like that Shedrack mentioned that we learned to that we built together. So him is a front end developer. Me, I majored on back end. So we're able to collaborate and build something, that can consume my API. It can use React to render. So all those kind of projects is something that we will need to factor in our curriculum. And I think we have it, right? If you check Shedrack, I think we added projects for on the curriculum. I think it's there. So, but no problem.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's noted. So, what we first of all do is we make sure that everybody start learning. Then, when you get a specific point, we start giving projects that we collaborate together. Nobody should work in isolation. We collaborate together. So yeah, it's possible. We will do it. We'll do it. So I see the same thing. We'll do it. So noted. Next question.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, Martins.
Yes, Mr. Chris. Thank you, Mr. Shady. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity. I just want to request, as much as I know from the two speakers that we have just finished speaking now, we have a lot of experienced guys. At least they have the foundation of what this whole session is all about. I also want to plead that I believe there are many other guys here who are very interested in knowing how to code and all this. But I'm saying in whatever we are going to do, let's not miss them out. I think I should try to do well to create projects. We should also be considerate of beginners that are here who doesn't even know the basic, who doesn't even have a foundational knowledge. So I'm just saying let's also find a platform or a way of carrying everybody.
Yeah, yeah, that's it.
So
So that's what the purpose of for that group is. Because if person like me can learn coding, that means anybody in the world. Because when it comes to smartness, I've never considered myself to be smart, especially when I was in school. So it was like a struggle for me, You understand? So if you go to
If you say you now,
if if you go to like maybe when I started my YouTube channel on Facebook and the rest, I wrote about it. The reason why I'm not logging here. The reason why I started like reaching out, helping people, because I know that people that maybe have like a slow learning development like me, can find it very hard to learn coding. But for me, now that I've gotten to a level where I can help people, means I'm trying to consider people also that maybe might not have any knowledge, or maybe it might take them time to understand particular topic. But the goal is we are not leaving anybody behind. As long as you show that dedication, that seriousness, whether you spend 1 month learning how to create paragraph tag, we'll be there with you. So that's it.
I appreciate this. I
Yeah,
Hello,
appreciate
Imoni.
this.
Good afternoon.
yeah, go for it.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, Imoni and Shady, thanks a lot. Like, this is the opportunity I've been waiting for. Like, Imoni, we met in after COVID, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, after COVID, when you gave me those stuff. One, the laptop was not mine, it was for my cousin. And two, the guy moved out of Lagos. One day he just woke up and said he got a job in Abuja, and then he moved. So although I backed up those files, but later when I checked them on another system, they were corrupt already. So that is it. Though, what I ever wanted was this community I'm in now. Every day I follow up your post. Every day I try as much as I can to like, okay, get back to this level. But I thank God I'm finding this community. I really appreciate this.
yeah.
Though I've gone to a level in HTML and CSS. So I've
Okay,
not started JavaScript. I'm almost done with CSS, but I've not started JavaScript.
okay.
But this
Okay.
is the community I actually wanted, where I can anytime that I had issues, because as at then it will go to a point when I got hooked. I'll be like, my mind will go like, I can reach money, but money might be at work, and I'll just be helping myself to think that when is the best time, and maybe I'll wait till in the evening and then I'll chat you up.
Hmm.
And then I have to chat you up in the evening, what's up, sis, challenge and all. But
Yeah,
I think with this community now, it's gonna help me. Like I told you, my challenges. My challenge is my present job,
yeah,
and which honestly I'm underpaid. I know I'm underpaid, but
yeah,
I really want to change career. I really want to move into tech fully. Though I'm in IT, information technology department, but not software engineer. So we don't build anything. We work on the
yeah,
stuff that you guys have built already
yeah.
for users to be able to use them correctly. So I really want to switch. I really want to switch.
No
Like,
problem. Yeah, we'll do it together. Yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah.
all right,
No
no problem.
problem. Next question.
Good morning.
Uh, my baby T. Yeah, here. Okay, Thomas. Thomas, go
Hello,
next.
Mr. Chris.
Yeah,
Good afternoon.
yeah. Good afternoon. Well done.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Thomas. Go ahead.
I want to encourage the person that is working and doing.
Hmm.
I want to encourage the person that myself, I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
How can people
Please increase your volume. Abi, speak louder. Sorry.
I can barely hear that guy.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
We'll manage.
Better.
We can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, please allow us to hear you.
Or I'll just drop it in the chat since you cannot hear me well.
Alright, it's fine.
Okay, next person.
Somebody asked a question on the chat.
Okay.
Go to Moses. I think it's good that you respond to the question.
Let me see. Moses.
Hello.
Yeah. Moses Abi. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I did look Moses.
Okay, I'm looking for the chair.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. Baby T, are the one training this guy. Yeah, JavaScript is always the problem for everybody. So that JavaScript will deal with you. It's a very strong language, you. But
Can I quickly say something there?
yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah, for everybody learning programming, either a backend software developer or a front-end engineering person or DevOps engineering, anyone you are learning, there will always be a point in this time that look at everything you've been doing previously is nonsense. you always get to one spot with time that you should look at even
Sorry,
as
please.
if you
If you're
don't know
not
anything.
speaking, please help mute because of the too much noise. Thank you. Yeah, baby T, continue.
All right. So that point now, I think one of those points is the point that Adedoku Moses has gotten to now. You
Hmm.
know, it's not like those days that I usually have a lot of times, and I know people like him are on this platform too. That you need people to take you through. Yes, but you need a self-discipline, self-learning mode. You understand the
Yeah.
time that you need to put your head forward. Thank God, even if no one knows my story, Mr. Chris, you should know my story.
Yeah.
You know my story very, very well. I'm a
Hmm.
kind of person that is passionate for coding to an extent that I even code in the
In
hospital.
the hospital
In
with
fact,
drips, with drips on his
when I
body.
was on duty, I was still coding. They have to come and take this, they give me an injection, I slept off the food system, I woke up, I asked, where's my laptop? You understand? So we need to just we need to let us see I will still give them encouragement. See, whenever you get to that point in time and you are like you want to quit of this programming, everything, just think of the reason why you are doing this. This is a country whereby nothing can pay you.
Wow.
When I'm saying nothing can pay you, I really mean it. Nothing can pay you.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Except this thing that is, that is what we are doing now. That's the only way. If you study computer science, I study computer science as well. Whatever course you study in school, till you finish, they are going to give you introduction.
Yeah.
Till you finish, everything you be doing is an introduction. Most of our Nigerian university cannot even handle Python from full beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Not
Mhm.
talk of going to the framework of Django or any of Flask. You
Yes,
understand?
yes, yes, yes.
Yes. And I want to thank Shadrach too, because actually, if I'm going to be narrating my story as a programmer, I cannot leave Shadrach out because
Yeah.
it was I met him while I met Mr. Chris, and in fact, I know God just know the way He writes His own program for everyone. He was the first person that took me in the journey of HTML.
Hmm. Yeah.
I know you can remember very well. It took me on the journey of HTML. But that time I'm already a .NET developer and I know Visual Basic. So for me, the way he's taking me, he like to take things step by step. But my own, I remember that I learned PHP and I do my first project within 3 days. Mr. Chris, if you remember.
Yeah.
So the way I learn, I don't like to waste time. When I'm looking at it, I'm only looking at the end from the beginning. So I don't know, our passions and or what motivate us are different.
Hmm.
So please, when you get to that point that you feel like you want to drop out of this thing, just think of something
Yeah.
that makes you to start it at first.
That's
You
it.
understand?
Yeah. This JavaScript is really a big problem. Even for me, I can't tell the number of times I have to start JavaScript from scratch. I'll be studying like a particular course. Before I reach the middle, I've forgotten what I've learned previously. I have to go back and start again. Even when I was learning PHP, somebody gave me a folder that contained 200 PHP videos. PHP that is easy compared to JavaScript. I have to study that video like 3 times. Like you imagine going through 200 videos, come back again, start again the second time, come back again. It was on the third time that I started understanding it. And I said, okay, if I continue like this, I might not still be able to assimilate better. And I look for a project, that I can build with that PHP. That's how I learned PHP very well. And my first job in 2017 was a PHP job. So JavaScript, once you get it, the same thing. Shadrach shares a story about how he struggled with JavaScript. Most times it's just to get the right materials. Then, and when you're stuck in any point, you can reach out to us going forward now to be easier. There's nothing you ask us in JavaScript that we will not be able to answer. Then Vue is just a framework. The reason why I did not include this is because React is the most popular in the industry. So currently we have support for React. But if you want to learn Vue, meet Tomiwa. Tomiwa is a Vue, JS, and Laravel expert, so he can guide you. So the PHP that will be learning and everything, he will be the one to assist with that. So he's one of my students then in 2016, but now the guy is just working here and there, cashing out plenty money. You understand? So he's well experienced. He will help you. Even if it is Vue you want, he will help you. All right, next question. Prince, you want to
Hello.
go? Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah. Anybody? Any question? Any more question?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you,
Hello,
Martins.
Mr.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes, okay, Mr. Chris. Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I thought I've asked question again. I want to ask again.
No, I didn't ask question. I only made a suggestion the other time because I was seeing we have a lot of professional on the platform, so that was why I have to chip in that suggestion quickly.
Okay, okay. So go ahead.
Okay, so
So
I
after
actually,
this, I
actually,
think Prince. Then after Prince Dixon. So
I
let's
have a
just
question,
Okay.
Mr. Chris.
uh,
Hello, I have a question.
okay. Let's try and accommodate one by one. So maybe what you guys are going to do is there is a place to raise up your hand so that just raise up your hand so that we'll just call everyone one by one so that we'll not be interrupting each other. So Martins, go ahead.
all right. Thank you very much. Actually, started developing interest in web development. So, and I started this HTML and CSS alongside the JavaScript, experiencing the same thing everybody's complaining. So I'm just asking for a suggestion.
Yeah.
What is the best way of going through this? Should I be done with HTML completely? Because while going through HTML, you discover that features of CSS are being introduced. So you have to like still try to relate with what you have, the knowledge you have in CSS. Is it like, do you do the studying together or finish one when you are done with one, go to the next one? The
Okay.
second question is this: video.
Hmm.
Is video a best form of learning? Sometimes I watch some videos that gets me crazy and I feel like I'm not doing this anymore. So that's my question.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So like the plan that we have, right? It listed all the important topics that you should learn. So I don't think the link is available. I would have shared it. You understand? But the CSS course we are using for our training is this one by Jonas. So if you should open it, you can also buy it. It's a very good course. If you should open it, you will see the different topics. You know. So this guy tried to please. If you're not talking, you can mute the mic. The noise is much. So you will see the different topics that this guy cover. He covers all the most important topics in CSS and HTML. You know, he will give you the fundamentals. He will give you the CSS fundamentals, the most important layout that you need to understand: float, flexbox, grid. You know, the rules. You know how to structure your components. Then this particular project. This project is a very top-notch project. If you open the introduction, for example, and you see what the guy built, you know, if you have this alone and you're able to
Take
complete
a
his
look
course,
at
look at what
this
he built.
beautiful website.
See,
It's all hand-coded with just HTML and CSS. It's professionally designed, and it works beautifully even on mobile devices. Wouldn't it be super amazing if you knew exactly how to design and code any website just like this one? Well, that's where
yeah,
I come
so
in. I am Jonah.
that's it. So this guy is a professional. So what we normally do is we make sure that the skills that you're supposed to learn, you learn it. Definitely, this guy course does not cover the entire CSS. If you go to CSS documentation, there are a lot, but there are some things that you don't even need to learn. Even me that I'm doing Java or Shedra that is doing front end, there are some topics that you don't need to learn because you will never use it. If you're learning JavaScript, there are some things that you will never use. If you go to a particular website like JavaScript, I think javascript.info, right? If you see all the topics in JavaScript, it will drive you crazy. You understand? These are the table of content. This is the JavaScript language. This is just the fundamental. C, objects, data types, advanced. C. So tell me, how do you want to finish this? But what video does is that most of these guys, like Jonas, you know, that we're using his course, they are professionals. It's things that they have used in the industry. So they try to teach you the most important topics, things that you use day to day. Then when you now understand that, then tomorrow you can have a question. Now, for example, I know that I have a task. Somebody says, okay, create a validation. How to validate email. I don't know it. I've not studied before. That's when Google comes in. First, I've mastered the foundation. Next, the next task that I don't understand, maybe, I don't know, I can just come here and say how to validate email, even with HTML5. I know that it's possible to HTML5, but I don't know how. I type it, I click search. Then you see them say, okay, you have to use the type called email. Then at the end, how do I validate an email address? It's just to add a type called email, and it automatically handle that. So if you are entering email feed and you do not put at or dot, it automatically reject it. So things that you don't learn while working on projects will force you to do further research and learn. No tutorial can give you everything 100%. So same with JavaScript. So even with the JavaScript, the guy's course on JavaScript is top notch. You understand? So if you, let me see, we have this kind of tutorials or this kind of resources that we share with you. Then while learning, you will get stuck. Then you ask us, anything you want to achieve, we'll help you. We'll guide you. Like this course, I've taken it before, but the guy updated it. I think Shedrack has taken this, he has taken this one also. If you look at people's review, they'll tell you that this is the best JavaScript course, so far. He teach you the fundamentals. He will teach you option yourself. Maybe you don't know HTML and CSS, so that you can use it to work with DOM. He will teach you how JavaScript works behind the scene. You will learn data structure. Then he will build some projects and the rest. So that's just it. So no problem. Every other issue, all those issues, we'll address them while learning.
Thank you so much.
Let me add to what you said. So, he asked if videos are the best things to learn, because there are some certain videos that he watches that they makes him want to give up.
Exactly.
Are videos the best options? It now determines the type of videos you are watching. That is why I said you have to know what distractions are and what to focus on.
Yeah.
If you are following a course, if you are watching a course, then personally, I don't know how other people do theirs. For me personally, if I have a course on HTML and CSS, then I don't need any YouTube video again to search for anything. After I finish my course, the only time I search for anything is when I'm working on a project, and then the solution was when the course I took. In that season, I will not search for only that solution. So it's just like you looking for something that is not lost. At the end of the day, it will end up not being useful to you.
Yeah.
If you are following a YouTube course and you follow that YouTube course, you're jumping from one video, like from one course to another YouTube course to another YouTube video, studying the same thing. You just end up not studying anything.
Yeah. Okay. No, yeah, that's true. So Dixon, because of time.
Okay, my own, I think I'll just chat you up. Is going to be me starting from scratch. All those things one need to get them done one step at a time. Like most people now, they have done HTML, CSS, and the rest. Somebody like me, I have not done that before. Now, when we were in mechanics, nothing of such. Though we did that on the board, but nothing.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, there's provision too for those starting from scratch. So we'll have like a call to introduce everyone starting from scratch. So if you're taking front end, Shedrack will handle that. Back end, I'll handle that.
What to do from the scratch.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll just have introduction, help you set up your environment, give you access to the resources you need, then give you the guide. So when you start, if you need any help, you reach out. So no problem, we'll do that. Yeah, I think next person, Moses Abi. Oh, he has left.
I want to say something.
Okay. Hello. Yeah, Izene. Okay, let Izene go first. Sorry. The Moses immediately after Izene. Sorry. Yeah.
No problem, no problem.
I'm actually running a course on software engineering, but we're using a Linux development environment.
Yeah.
So I don't really know where that is heading, because it doesn't mention in either the front end or the back end. I just know we are Git cloning, we are using GitHub, but I don't, and I'm writing scripts, but I don't know where is it
I'm
back
not
end
there.
or is it
Wait, which language are you using? If I,
presently we are
I
learning
know what you
C.
try. I know what you're trying to say. There's a
oh,
there's a curriculum for that.
okay, so Moses, what if you can explain all those Linux commands? Is it like the GitHub and the rest?
No, they just want you to have a flow of how Linux flow. Because if you
Okay, okay.
check because I'm also doing that program too. If you check the LX program, there's a curriculum for that. You will see touch JS, you should see introduce the front end and the back end. They want you to understand the command point environment, all those Linux commands, all those stuff. They want you to have in depth of how that thing flow before you move
Yeah,
to
okay.
that. Because
And
they shared into 3 semesters. There's a
yeah,
first semester, there's a second semester, there's a third
okay.
semester.
So I think maybe what they're
So maybe
trying to do
I'll
is
share the
to,
curriculum
yeah,
later.
to make you understand how the Linux, how to write those Linux scripts and all those things. Then GitHub, like, yeah, there's no way you'll be learning software development without learning GitHub. So this is my GitHub account. So these are the some of the companies I've worked for. They're my own personal repositories too. Then InterSwitch, we're using Bitbucket. So there's no way you'll be learning. All those are materials. Just that this is not the right place to discuss all of them. So it's still embedded in our materials. So
Okay.
yeah, you get it. Then Moses,
Okay. Good morning, everybody.
yeah,
Thanks for this section. For time for the presentation also.
mm,
So my problem, let us go straight to my problem a lot of time. My
okay.
own question. So is it always advisable why building a project, watching the video of that project and building it? Is it a good practice?
Yeah, there's one course on some of my repositories. When I was learning, I took a lot of very good courses that have good projects. For example, if my repository loads, there's one I call Tour Nigeria. So the Tour Nigeria is just
Okay.
like if you're coming to Nigeria, we want to take you to different places, the good tourist attraction in Nigeria. I did a lot of things here, like implementing Stripe Gateway and the rest. This one I learned it from a particular tutorial, but the tutorial just stop at some point. But me, I took it up. So if you are watching a video and they do projects, yeah, follow the project. Then when you are done, try to create something better. So come up with your own personal projects. You might not have idea of how
Okay.
to build, but once you start, all the thing you need, you'll be checking. Okay, now I want to create login form. Okay, what is do I know how to do that? If I don't know, let me research how I can clean. You
Okay.
understand, like that. Then if you take a particular course and they teach you how to build like e-commerce website, follow the same training.
Yes, yes.
Then, but later, go and find a way how to tweak your own. Maybe instead of e-commerce, turn it to like a place where you sell animals. Something different that you own, because those are the things
Yes,
that you'll
yes.
be showing to presenters or to recruiters rather.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So next person. So I think my battery has shown this thing. So let's just take 5 more minutes and call it a
Okay.
day. Yeah.
Hello, Chris.
Yeah, Monday.
Yeah, thank you for this wonderful session, and actually thank you so much.
Yeah.
My question is,
Can we really separate front end from back end? And if yes, supposing I'm working purely on back end, how do I post my project? How do I post my projects
all for people to see if it's purely on that? Should it be
all about my APIs, the documentation or what?
Yeah, so most times it's usually about, your documentation, your APIs, and the rest. I think last year I did that attracted a lot of people to view, to comment. I was working on a particular authentication system. So let me see if I can quickly open it. Let me see. So whatever you're doing, you document, expose the endpoints that people can actually visit and look at what you're doing. So if I should go to under, I don't know why my network is slow here. So, front end is easier because people tend to see, they look and feel. But back end, you have to write, yeah, put it on GitHub, share a link. Let me see if I can see some of my activities. Then my posts. Mm, man. Okay, so while it's loading, I guess. Okay. Um, okay, this is when I wrote here that I believe it is bad practice to get, update, or delete a resource, especially a user resource. I just explained a particular thing I was working using USID. As you can see, it's API result that I posted and how I implemented the code. Then when I was working on a particular auth microservice, I also documented the journey that, okay, today, this is what I learned and how the authentication service work. So this is what I'm building using Spring Boot. So I just explained the flow using diagram. So maybe I'm not done with this. I would have put, okay, in case you want to see my source code, do that. Then if you look at some of the comments, you see one guy say, this guy, he later messaged me. If you look at it, yeah?
If your system goes up, you can join with your mobile phone.
Yeah, so I think that's what I'll even do now. So, but that's just it, yeah. That's just, you document it, you share your flow, your journey. If you look at some backend developers here on LinkedIn, you will see what they are doing. They have brought light stuff. You see what they are doing. So you just document the journey and the rest. So a lot of people commented that, yeah, that's an amazing. And most of them are backend developer. This guy is even a senior front-end developer that work with Andela. Then his message, he said he noticed that what I was building is something that all companies needed. So let me look for this thing. So he said the architecture you mentioned is a very sought after, especially for startup. So me, when I stopped and I joined InterSwitch, the first task they gave me was this authentication service to build it from scratch. I was not regretting that, and I posted about this thing 8 months ago, but I stopped. So I have to now go back and rebuild it. Then after that, another project came, this Sorolingo. And the first thing they said I should do was what? User management, the same authentication service where you sign up, you log in, you get a user, you get authenticated user and everything. So all these things are endpoints. So I can write about it that, okay, I've implemented it, share my Postmark collection, share my GitHub repo that people can go and look at. So any software engineer recruiter, once you see your code, they know that, okay, man, this guy knows what he's doing. You understand? So that's a way of promoting yourself easily. But for the front end, if you look for front end developer, you'll see them writing, their design and the rest. So that's just it. So next person.
Chris, let me add to what you said.
Okay.
The person that asked the question, please can you ask your question again?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
Ask your question again.
I said, can you separate front end from back end? And then if you're working on back end, or like front end where you can share what you've done so far easily. But if you're working purely on back end, how do you share what you've done so far? Your APIs, your documentation, how do you go about it?
So, Mr. Chris just made mention of this one go back in the developer to check if their APIs are working correctly and how it should go. So if you want to post about what you're working on, you can record your screen while testing your API and posting.
Yeah.
Talk about what you are.
Yeah, that's true. Then even this meeting that we are doing, right, is being recorded with a software called OBS. So maybe after the meeting, I will share the link. So this is one of the things that you can use to record. So everything we are doing is recording. As you are talking, is recorded. As I'm sharing screen, it's recorded. So I think this is what Shedrack also uses for some of his explanation or something. Yeah. So
OBS,
next,
right?
yeah, OBS Studio.
OBS, right?
Yes.
Okay.